Exclusive. Elon Musk's shocking multi-million-dollar sponsorship of Alex Ela has the entire world talking, and the reason why has broken the internet forever. What is up, Champions Tennisitics family? Seriously, stop everything you are doing right now. Put down your phone calls, pause your Netflix, tell your family to wait, because what we are about to break down for you today is the kind of story that comes around maybe once in a generation. This is the kind of news that makes you lean forward in your seat, grab whoever is sitting next to you, and say, "Are you seeing this?" Because today, we are diving deep into a jaw-dropping, mind-bending, emotionally charged saga that has tennis fans, business moguls, Filipino communities worldwide, and casual sports observers absolutely losing their minds on every social media platform known to humanity. We are talking about a collision of two worlds that nobody ever expected to intersect quite like this. On one side, you have Elon Musk, the most controversial, unpredictable, and frankly fascinating billionaire on planet Earth. A man who builds rockets for breakfast, disrupts entire industries before lunch, and breaks the internet before dinner. On the other side, you have Alexandra Alex Ela, the 20-year-old Filipino tennis prodigy who has been quietly, steadily, and absolutely ferociously climbing the ranks of professional women's tennis with a hunger and a grace that has captured the hearts of millions. These two names, in theory, should never have ended up in the same headline together. And yet, here we are. Here we absolutely are. Because the story of what happened between Elon Musk and Alex Ela, the rejection that shocked the sports world, and the stunning, unprecedented response that followed, is genuinely one of the most remarkable narratives in modern sports history. Buckle up, because we are going on a long ride today, and trust me, every single word of it is worth your time. To truly appreciate the magnitude of what has unfolded, we need to go back to the beginning. We need to understand who Alexandra Ela really is, where she came from, and why her story resonates so powerfully not just with Filipino fans, but with sports lovers everywhere on Earth. Alex Ela was born on May 23, 2005, in Manila, Philippines, and from the earliest age, it was clear that this young woman possessed something rare and extraordinary. She wasn't just talented at tennis. She was consumed by it, driven by it, almost as though the sport had chosen her as much as she had chosen it. Her family recognized her gift early and made the kinds of sacrifices that only parents with absolute faith in their child's destiny ever make. She was enrolled in the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Spain, leaving behind the familiar warmth and comfort of home to train in a completely foreign environment, surrounded by some of the most competitive young tennis players on the planet. Think about that for a moment. A young Filipino girl, thousands of miles from home, grinding day after day on those Spanish courts, refusing to let homesickness, cultural differences, or the sheer intimidation of elite competition stop her from pursuing her dream. That kind of courage doesn't come from talent alone. That comes from character. That comes from a deep, burning sense of purpose. And the results of that sacrifice began to show very quickly. Ela became a dominant force on the ITF junior circuit, racking up titles and announcing herself to the tennis world as a genuine future star. She won the 2022 ITF W25 tournament in Andrézieux, France, at just 16 years old, making history as the first Filipino to win an ITF singles title. Let that achievement sit with you for a moment. First Filipino ever in the entire history of the sport in her country. That is not just a personal milestone. That is a national landmark. Back home in the Philippines, she was celebrated like a champion returning from war. And she was just getting started. Her junior Grand Slam success, including her doubles title at the 2022 Australian Open Junior event partnering with American Range Drevenson, added more gold to her rapidly growing trophy cabinet. But what truly set Alex apart from other talented juniors wasn't just the wins. It was the way she carried herself, the composure under pressure, the refusal to crumble when points went against her, the ability to dig deep when the match was on the line. Coaches, commentators, and fellow players began to notice something that went beyond skill. They noticed a champion's mentality forming in real time. As she transitioned from the junior circuit to the senior professional tour, the learning curve became steep and unforgiving, as it always does in professional tennis. The WTA circuit is a brutal, unrelenting machine that chews up promising youngsters and spits them out with startling regularity. Players who looked unstoppable at 18 find themselves struggling to qualify for tournaments at 22. The physical demands increase. The tactical complexity multiplies. The mental pressure becomes something entirely different from anything experienced at the junior level. And yet, Alex Ela has navigated this transition with a maturity and determination that has left observers genuinely astonished. Her performances in 2024 and into 2025 have been nothing short of electrifying. She broke into the WTA Top 100, a milestone that represents a seismic shift in Philippine sports history. She made her presence felt at Grand Slam level, forcing the tennis world to take notice of her not as a novelty act or a feel-good story, but as a legitimate competitive force capable of beating established professionals on any surface and in any conditions. Her gutsy runs at major tournaments, her ability to push top 50 players to their absolute limits, and her relentless fighting spirit have made her one of the most exciting players to watch on the entire tour. Filipino fans, who for so long had little to cheer for on the global sports stage outside of boxing, have found a new hero in Alex Ela, and their passion for her journey has been overwhelming and deeply moving. Now, it is against this backdrop of rising stardom, national pride, and genuine sporting merit that the bombshell story about Elon Musk and the sponsorship saga begins to unfold. Because when you are as exciting and marketable as Alex Ela, the corporate world inevitably comes knocking. And in the era of electric vehicles, technology-driven brand ambassadorship, and social media influence, the biggest player in that game is, of course, Elon Musk and the Tesla empire. Reports began circulating in the sports business community that Tesla, through its marketing and brand partnership channels, had approached Alexandra Ela's management team with what was described by insiders as an extraordinarily generous sponsorship offer. We are talking about figures that would represent life-changing, generational wealth for a 20-year-old athlete from the Philippines. The kind of money that players far more established than Ela would have signed for without a moment's hesitation. The kind of deal that agents dream about delivering to their clients. The kind of opportunity that, on paper, seems impossible to refuse. And yet, the story that electrified the internet tells us that Alex Ela did exactly that. She refused it. She looked at an offer that could have made her financially secure for the rest of her life, and she said no. And the reason she reportedly gave was not about money at all. It was about values. It was about authenticity. It was about the kind of athlete she wanted to be and the kind of legacy she wanted to build. The word that kept coming up in discussions about her reported decision was integrity. Alex Ela, according to the narrative that has captured the imagination of fans worldwide, did not want her image and her story to be used as a commercial vehicle for any corporation, no matter how powerful or how wealthy that corporation's owner might be. She reportedly felt that accepting a deal laden with brand obligations and advertising requirements would compromise the purity of what she represents, both to her fans and to herself. She is a sporting idol to millions of children across the Philippines. Kids who look up to her not because she endorses products, but because she plays tennis with her heart on her sleeve and her national flag in her soul. She did not want to become a logo. She wanted to remain a symbol. Now, you can debate whether that decision was strategically wise. Sports business analysts will argue until the cows come home about whether a young athlete on the rise can afford to turn down transformative sponsorship money in a sport as expensive and resource-intensive as professional tennis. The costs of coaching, travel, equipment, physical therapy, and tournament entry are enormous, and the early years of a professional tennis career are rarely profitable enough to cover them without substantial outside support. So the practical arguments against turning down a Tesla deal are very real and very valid. But here is the thing about Alexandra Ela that makes this story so compelling. She has never appeared to be motivated primarily by practical considerations. She has always seemed to be playing a longer game, driven by something deeper than financial optimization. And whether you agree with her reported decision or not, the sheer boldness of it, the willingness to stand on principle when the stakes are this high, is objectively breathtaking. It is the kind of move that makes people stop scrolling and stare at their screens in disbelief. And now we arrive at the moment that has truly broken the internet. Because Elon Musk, a man not typically known for taking rejection gracefully, reportedly did something that absolutely nobody saw coming. Instead of moving on to the next marketable athlete, instead of dismissing Ila's decision as the naive idealism of a young player who doesn't understand how the business world works, Musk apparently did the opposite. He reportedly stepped back, reflected on what Alex's decision actually said about her character, and came to a conclusion that sent shockwaves through the sports world, the business community, and beyond. The announcement attributed to Musk, the one that has everyone from Manila to Madrid talking, is as astonishing as anything you will ever read in the world of sports and business combined. Rather than walking away from Elo entirely, Musk reportedly announced a completely new, entirely unprecedented form of partnership. Not a commercial sponsorship, not a brand deal, not a contractual arrangement designed to generate marketing value for Tesla or any of his other ventures, but a pure, unconditional, philanthropic commitment to support Alexandra Ila's tennis journey and her mission to inspire and uplift the next generation of Filipino athletes. The statement attributed to Musk reportedly read, in essence, that Alexandra Ila represents something far more valuable than any advertising campaign could capture, that her courage and her principles are an inspiration not just to young athletes in the Philippines, but to anyone anywhere who has ever chosen integrity over easy money, and that he intends to back her not as a business investment, but as a human being who deserves to have her mission supported without strings or conditions. He reportedly emphasized that there would be no Tesla branding, no advertising obligations, no requirement for Ila to appear at corporate events or endorse products. This would be support in its purest form, driven by genuine admiration and a desire to see her succeed on her own terms. In the language of the sports business world, this is essentially unheard of. Billionaire sponsors do not typically pour money into athletes without expecting measurable commercial returns. The entire architecture of modern sports sponsorship is built on the transactional exchange of exposure, brand association, and marketing value. What Musk reportedly announced blows that entire model out of the water completely. The reaction from the global tennis community has been seismic. Sports journalists who have covered the game for decades have described the reported development as something they have never seen before in their careers. Former players have weighed in on social media, with many expressing awe not just at Musk's reported gesture, but at Ila's original decision to hold firm on her principles even at enormous financial cost. Tennis fans who had never previously paid much attention to women's tennis outside the very top tier have suddenly become deeply invested in Alexandra Ila's story and her progress on the WTA Tour. Filipino communities across the world, from Sydney to San Francisco, from Dubai to Dublin, have been celebrating with a ferocity and pride that is deeply moving to witness. In the Philippines itself, the reaction has been nothing short of extraordinary. Social media platforms have been flooded with messages of support, gratitude, and overwhelming national pride. Politicians, celebrities, athletes from other sports, and ordinary citizens have all united in celebrating what feels like a defining moment for Philippine sport on the global stage. And when Alex Ila herself reportedly responded to the news of Musk's unconditional commitment, the emotional power of her words reportedly reduced fans to tears across every corner of the internet. Her response, as described by those who have shared it widely, was a masterclass in grace, humility, and focused determination. She reportedly spoke not of personal financial security or individual achievement, but of what this support would mean for the children of the Philippines, for the kids in provinces and urban centers across the archipelago who dream of picking up a tennis racket, but lack the resources, the facilities, or the coaching to make that dream a reality. She reportedly spoke of grassroots programs, of access and opportunity, of building something that would outlast her own playing career and create a legacy of sporting excellence in a country that has historically struggled to develop tennis infrastructure at scale. In the language of a true champion, she apparently made it clear that the greatest result of this entire extraordinary episode would not be anything that happens for her personally, but everything it might make possible for those who come after her. What makes this story even more layered and fascinating is the broader context of Alex Ila's 2025 season, which has been unfolding with the kind of dramatic narrative arc that scriptwriters would struggle to improve upon. Coming into this year with higher expectations than ever before, fueled by her breakthrough results in 2024 and her now historic entry into the WTA Top 100. Ela has been taking on the circuit with visible hunger and a noticeably evolved game. Her serve has become a genuine weapon. Her movement around the court has become more confident and economical. Her tactical decision-making in key moments of tight matches has shown a sophistication that speaks to enormous growth under her coaching team. She has been testing herself against the very best players in the world on the biggest stages available. And while results have not always gone her way, the performances themselves have consistently told the story of a player who is closing the gap on the elite tier of women's tennis at a genuinely impressive rate. Her early 2025 results have included some absolutely riveting performances that had tennis fans on the edge of their seats. Her ability to compete deep into significant tournaments and push respected, experienced professionals to their absolute limits has been one of the most exciting storylines on the WTA Tour this year. Every time she steps onto a court, the sense of occasion is palpable. Filipino fans travel extraordinary distances to support her in person at tournaments, creating atmospheres that players on the circuit have noted as genuinely special. The noise, the flags, the raw emotional investment of her supporters have added a dimension to Ela's matches that is rarely seen outside of the very pinnacle of the sport. She has become, in the truest sense of the phrase, a box office attraction. And this is precisely what makes the reported Musk development so significant from a practical standpoint, beyond all the emotion and drama of the story. Resources matter enormously in professional tennis.
Everyone, I truly regret not being able to be there tonight. However, I am so honored to be named the PSA Athlete of the Year.